Tuning in a homeroom with Smooth. Class is now in session.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is Homeroom with Smooth podcast episode. I'm not finna number this because I really don't know when this is coming out, but sometime in September. Um, so listen, I got with me my guy from way back in the day. I got my boy Jay with me. Man, me and him go way, way back, which is just crazy. Which is crazy.
That's
Um, like how
oh,
we,
the other
huh?
day. You remember when I stayed the night and we played video games all night?
Yeah, bro, that was crazy. Like we played video game for a long time.
Like we played like the NFL Blitz and something else. That's how
Yeah,
old, long ago that
yeah,
was.
yeah, man. Yeah, man. Cause then I remember I came and stayed the night over your house because we went and played football up the street.
Yep,
Yeah, we went and played football up the street. That was fun, man. That was good times.
it was good times. That was like in fifth grade.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fifth grade. Yeah. Yeah, that was fifth grade. Cause I stay cause my dad stayed at the links, my mom stayed at whatever it was that was up the street, and then you stayed like I want to say like 4 blocks up, like
Yep.
4 or 5 blocks. Like I could walk, but Sherwood had all them hills. Wasn't nobody finna walk that. Nobody was walking that. Man, but man, it's good to touch base with you again, bro.
No, for real. Like I know you've been trying to get me on the show for a minute.
Yeah. Yeah. You were one of the first people I reached out to, honestly, because I really liked what you were doing. Like I was like, yo, what he's doing, this is great. Like this is great. Like anytime I see your stuff, like I just sit there and watch the whole thing, like because it was just so informative. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm walking away with information. Like I feel empowered. Like I'm finna go tell somebody about themselves now.
Yeah, that's why I do it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
The big reasons why I do it.
Yeah, man. So I guess one of the first questions I gotta ask, you know what I'm saying, like a baseline to establish a baseline, like what is an alchemist? Like what does that mean to you? You know?
Yeah, I guess a lot of people have their own definitions of it for sure. Um, what it means to me is just like studying the science of like what gets us closer to God, right? So it's like what
Mm-hmm.
is the science of God? Like what makes a human being, what makes the world go round. But not only that, like how can you perfect yourself as a person? And how can you be like your best self? Like how can you purify yourself, deal with yourself enough, work out enough of your internal struggles to where you're like the best version of yourself. And that's like my basic definition of what an alchemist is. For me at least. That's what it means for me. But a lot of people have a lot of different, definitions of what it is to them. So
Okay. No, I really like really like your definition, the science of God. Like that is very interesting. That's very interesting because like even when you look at a lot of things in science, like some things like we can't recreate. Like,
right.
and it's just like, how does this happen this way? You know what I'm saying? To where it works in this environment, but it's unrecreatable in any other environment.
Right. And then like just the harmony of everything. Like the only thing that's not harmonious is people, essentially. But
Right.
like the harmony between like the stars and the moon and the sun and how far we are away from the sun and how we're able to have life on earth. And then you just have like even like a spirituality and the harmony of spirituality. Like I don't know, like we talk sometimes we call it karma, sometimes we say you reap what you sow, but there's just so many beautiful things that happens in life, and it's like,
Hmm.
well, something else had a hand in that, and
Yeah.
that's kind of what an alchemist is. At least historically, back in the day, you had a lot of good alchemists, and you had a lot of what we call charlatans. And those good alchemists, not only were they like these deeply spiritual people, but they were
Hmm.
also all these advancements in science and technology and chemistry. So
Mhm.
you had people that are like really spiritual and kind of heady and kind of out there, but at the in the other side, they're like the first distillers of alcohol. They're making medicine. They're
Mhm.
they're herbalists. So it's like kind of that whole balance between like practical knowledge and also like a deep spiritual understanding of the world around you. That make a little bit more sense.
Yeah, no. That worked for me. Like I'm following you. Like the deeper understanding of like how the world works and like the people that weren't necessarily like were charlatans were people that were like for example, just making sure I understand this right. Like people that were saying like they could make gold. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? But it wasn't really gold, and they were saying like they were performing alchemy, but it's not. They were doing something else. But
right,
like
right.
the actual real alchemists were like out there like explaining to you like why this occurs and like how you can be better in this particular area and because this is how this function works.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down. So when did you start the Wandering Alchemist?
When did that start? So what's funny? I think a friend had put me on alchemy, and I'm very skeptical. I'm a very skeptical person, and
Yeah,
I've been doing,
I remember.
huh?
I remember from back in the day.
Oh,
You were skeptical back then.
I was such a skeptical. It's like I'm just a real deal skeptic, man. And I think at that point I was already doing a whole lot of research, and I was already like low key teaching about secret societies and symbolism. And so
Hmm.
I had this friend come over to another homie's house. This was probably around 5 years ago, maybe, probably
Hmm.
somewhere. And he's like, you're a brewer. You're basically an alchemist. And I was like, huh? What's out? And he was like trying to give it to me. I was like, nah, bro, just send me all the information that you have about it. I'll go research it and I'll figure out if it's good or if it's bad. And then
Hmm.
the type of person I am, like anytime you put me on something or show me something, I'm gonna like take it and then just like nerd out on it to the point to where you're gonna be mad. Like, dang, I could have sworn I was the one that put you on it. And that's
Right.
basically what happened. I just kind of like started researching it, and then it kind of spoke to me in a certain way. To where I was like, oh, this is kind of a missing piece of the puzzle of like things I was already researching,
Mm.
and I just like dove directly into it. So fast forward a few years later, I go to Israel, and I was already by that point. By the time I went to Israel, I was already huge into alchemy. Um, and when I came back home, I was just so inspired, and I was like, man, I want to start my own website and start putting out like, I'm a writer too, so I was like, I need a place online so I can like put out all my research and things. And I was thinking of a name, and I was like, you know what? Was like, how about the Wandering Alchemist? Is like, I'm not wondering, like I'm not like people say wander. It's like I'm not aimlessly looking around. Like I know who I
Right.
am, what I want, but I am like very open to new things. So I do have a sense of wonder about the world. So I was like, oh,
Mm.
let's call it the Wandering Alchemist, and that's basically how that happened.
Yo, that's fire. That's fire. That's fire. That's fire. That's fire. How you came up with that, man? Dang, dang. I wish I had that good of a story about coming up with Homeroom with Smooth. Like it's not that good. It's not that good at all. Very bland. Very bland. Man, because
But
I literally took the name. So I was playing a video game that my brother asked me to play,
which one? What
and
was?
it was Trails of Cold Steel.
Okay, I
Trails of
mean,
Yeah, it's a JRPG. Like it literally has a cult following. Like if you
oh,
know about it, you know about it. If you don't, you don't.
no.
So I'm playing the game and I'm liking the game. I was like, my brother was like, it has a great narrative, has a great story. Like you'll fall in love with the characters. Like just get in there. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm playing it, and then like I got through like part two. Yeah, I got almost ready to go into part two. I was almost finished with the first game in the series, and I'm like thinking about my name, and then I was like, oh man, I'm trying to like with my show, like I'm trying to like inform people about
Right.
things. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to like educate people, and then I'm like trying to like put people on and all this other stuff. Like I'm not like all about like, oh man, let me go get this big name person and get this blah blah blah. Like that's not me. Like I just want the people I know, like, and the people I meet every day and willing to talk to. Like I put on the podcast, like everyday conversations with real people. Like that's what it is.
Right.
So I was like, oh, if I'm trying to educate people, and then I was playing the game and it cut into the homeroom and it put homeroom up on the screen. And I went, that's it. I'm like, homeroom is smooth. Like,
Pretty cool story though.
like it's really not. Because
It's not. Bro, I feel like I don't know. Inspiration comes from everywhere though. It's like
that's true.
I like stop looking for inspiration. I just kind of let it comes now. It seems like when I go to looking for it, then stuff doesn't really come out quite right. But when I let it come to me, then it's like voila,
Yep.
like light bulb moment.
Yep, hey, that's what it is. That's what it is every time, man. Like anytime like I make an Instagram reel or I make a short or do anything like short form content wise, something happened and I immediately responded to it. I made the video and I just push it out. Like I don't think about it. Like anytime I've said on something and thought about it too long, I either don't do it or it
Mm-hmm.
ends up being really trash.
Yeah,
Like that's it.
no, that's real. I think when I write stories, I have two ways of writing stories. Like if it's a short
Hmm.
story, it'll come and I'll have the vision and I'll like I gotta get it down right then. But like in some things I've worked on, I might have an idea in my brain for a story for a year before I ever put it on paper. I might
Hmm.
talk about it with some people for a little while or whatever, and then like like the full vision of like what I want will hit, and then that's when I'll start writing. And that might take, like I said, sometimes it might take a year and a half before the vision really just hit, and I'm like, okay, it's time to start writing. But then it's like this one time, a short story I wrote recently, two of them I wrote recently, just chilling or woke up from a nap or had a dream or whatever, and then it's like the full vision is there, and then I like write it in like 4 hours or whatever the case is.
Whew.
But I don't know, inspiration's weird, man. This is something like
Yeah.
almost like it don't really belong to you, so you just kind of got to ride the wave when you got it.
Yeah, man. Cause man, a funny story like about inspiration. So I was thinking about doing like a second podcast, and it was gonna be about video games and stuff, right? But I only was thinking about like I got inspired to do it and I kind of like did some stuff and then I was like, I don't know what to name it. I'm just gonna chill on it. I kid you not, like 2 weeks later, my homie that I had just interviewed on my podcast was starting a gaming podcast with somebody else. I said, that's
Yeah.
crazy. I like, are you serious? I'm like, dang.
It'll be like that. It's a story with Prince where he was cutting some song. I don't know if it was Purple Rain or he had a whatever it was. He had a song that he was about to cut, and he's in
Hmm.
the studio working on it, and he's just trying to get it out, trying to get it out. And the producer is like, "Bro, let's just do it tomorrow." And he's like, "No, bro. If we don't do it right now, Michael Jackson's gonna write it in the morning." And it's like this thing to where it's kind of like showed how sometimes them ideas ain't just necessarily yours. So like if
Yeah,
you got to kind of take care of it.
yeah, yeah, for real. Like that. Yeah, I think it's best described as like divine inspiration. Like,
No,
you know, like I think that's the best way to describe it. That's how I've heard it described. Um, okay, so you started doing the Wandering Alchemist. Like, so what is Wandering Alchemist about?
so I am the wandering alchemist, right? So it's
Yes.
just about like me going through my life and just sharing like all the information that I learned. Like I love to teach. Stop it, Percy. It's my dog. Um, I love to teach and I love to share information. Like I've always just loved sharing information. So it's really just me like wondering about different subjects and learning about them and then just like repeating what I learned to other people in a way that they can understand it. So they can take it like the same way I'm using it in my life, or, you know, it's opening up a door for me or opening up my eyes to a different, you know, perception or the way to see certain things. I'm
Mm-hmm.
hoping that it does that for other people too. So it's not like me coming down or being like, oh, I need to dumb it down for people. It's more like, no, I'm not perfect, and maybe if I share this information with you, you can give me some insight on the way that it can help you, or the way that you see it, or the way that it can transform your life. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's really what it's all about. Like just me, just really constantly in this state of wonder, and just all the things that I'm passionate about and I love learning about, and just sharing them and giving them to people. And hopefully, it inspires them to do the same, or inspires them to be more themselves. So it's like half of it's self-expression, and the other half of it is like really educational and trying to heal folks, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense, man. And I really like the way that you tell the stories. Like it's not just like well, tell the stories and deliver the information as well, because
Right.
you come off very like trustworthy. I think that's the best way I can put it. You come off very trustworthy. It's like, okay, like clearly this dude sat down, read all this material somewhere, and is giving me the Spark Notes version of it so I can pass the test tomorrow. Like, like I'm like, bro, I was sitting there like I watched one of the whole series, and I'm like, bro, I did not know all this happened to this one person. Like, because normally all you hear about is this and this, and if you only like research surface level, okay, cool, you just get like a basic understanding. I really wish I could remember which person this is. It was a guy. Um, man, I can't
Was he black?
remember. It was a black dude. He was uh I don't know. I don't know. Like his pictures were in black and white the entire time. He had a suit on. Um, and he was like he was inventing something, and he was like trying to like help black people move forward, and then he was involved in something else, and then he like did something, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, he was there. I'm like, normally like when they talk about that event, they don't even mention him.
Are you
Like
thinking
I'm
of
like,
Africanus Jones with the Elaine massacre stuff?
I think okay, that might be it. That might be it. That might be it.
That
That just might be it, because it was something so wild, and I was like, I've heard about that before, but I did not know this guy was there.
yeah,
I've heard about him only in this context.
that makes sense. There's so many people. You know what's crazy, man? I've made so much content at this point. I forget some of the content that I've made. Um,
It'd be like that, bro.
yeah, sometimes I forget what I've made for sure.
Man, like the only time I'd be figuring out like I made old content is when somebody watches it and leaves a comment. I was like, oh, I'm like, what? I'm like, that video was 2 years ago. I said,
Yeah,
oh, I don't even remember this.
big facts.
Yeah, man. But yeah, you said you've been at it for 5 years. Well,
So
over 5 years, I guess.
right, like I probably started studying. I really hit the ground running studying the types of stuff I study now, probably 7 to 8 years ago. And then
Okay.
I got into alchemy about 5 years ago. And then I remember around 2018, 2019, I was like pretty well immersed in it by then.
Hmm.
And everything else has been kind of like just a. Cause looking back at like the first time I taught a class, and the first time I taught a class was 2017 at a festival.
Hmm.
So I know for sure that I felt confident enough to start teaching classes about it by then. So that means I had to been studying for a minute before that point for sure.
Facts. And I know you get questions all the time, like just whether it's general or it's like deeper, like
Right.
questions, like people be having them. Like I
They,
know they do.
they do, but sometimes the internet's a strange place, right? So
Yeah.
like in person, like if I'm teaching a class or giving a lecture or whatever, in person, like the questions be real legitimate, like impactful questions. Like, but online, I don't be knowing who's a troll, who's not a troll, who has a legitimate question, who's like trying
You're
to
right.
say view. And it's like the way I give information, it's very rare that I give my own personal opinion about anything. When I
Yeah.
do, it's very clear that this is my opinion, this is how I feel. But I would say 85% of the time, I'm just giving facts. I'm not giving
Yeah.
any, this is how I feel about it, or I think this is bad, or this is good. It's like, it's just literally the facts. So online, it's like, yeah, it'd be weird. It's like some people be offended by the information. I'm like, I'm sorry that you're offended by like history and facts. I don't know what to do, fam.
Right.
Uh, but it's like the people that have rocked with me, like they've really rocked with me. And a lot of people that really I would say do comment and ask questions, a lot of them it seems like they've already been on that wave for a while. So it's more like them just kind of reaching out and being like, "Hey, I'm glad somebody's talking about this. Hey, um, would you mind going a little bit deeper into another video about this?" Like, or they might ask for my personal opinion about a certain thing, which
Hmm.
has been cool. But now, some majority of the time, I don't get good questions online. Majority of the time, I'm getting a lot of hate
Hate.
online.
Jeez. Jeez, people upset, man. Like I think that's why there's a big push for people to like they try and get rid of history or whatever because
Mhm.
history hurts. It just hurts.
Yes.
Like because you realize like you're the people that you looked up to as heroes are not heroes. They are evil people. Like
Yeah.
a lot of them. The
Are they just
bad. Say what?
are they just human?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true too. That's just
You
true.
know.
That's true too. Yeah, because sometimes like you have information, you make a mistake because you don't have the other side of the story, and
Mm-hmm.
it just be like that sometimes.
No, that's real. I think what I've learned the most of just doing all this type of research all the time is that like I try to always have an extreme open mind because me going into doing a study on a certain subject, I've gotten to the point now to where I know for a fact I have no idea where I'm going to find. I don't know. And
Mhm.
if I have a certain idea in my mind of like what this person might have been or who they could have been, then it completely miscues my research because if my research starts going a certain way versus if I keep a complete open mind and just don't look at a person as if they're being evil, if they're being good, then it seems
Mhm.
like the whole world of information opens up to me and it
Mm.
gives like this well-rounded perspective. There's people that I've definitely loved, got to doing research about them, and was like, dang, well, that person wasn't near as good, as cool as I thought they were. But
Right.
if I would have let my preconceived notion about them lead me in my study, I would have only been looking at the good things instead of seeing the things that just were not good at all or things I just didn't agree with. So
Mm.
it's hard. It's rough, man.
Dang. Yeah. Yeah, I feel that, man. Shoot, man. So you said you're also brewing beer now? You brew beer? Well, not now. Like you've been brewing beer. Like I'm saying now because like obviously we just now reconnected. Like
Right, right, right.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
doing it 8 years now, or going on 8 years. My timelines get so messed up. I want to say I should be right around 8 years now. But yeah, I started brewing at this place called Lost 40 in Little Rock. I was working in the kitchen. I was doing the dishes. Then I was a prep cook, and then I worked the line. And then like by that spring, they needed help in the brewery side, and they brought me over. And then before I knew it, they brought me over just to wash kegs. And then before I knew it, I knew how to do everything. Like at the end of the 2.5 years, it's like I knew everything but the microbiology. And I did not go to school for that. So um but I knew how to brew, I knew how to can, I knew how to clean tanks, I knew how to keep beer clean, I knew how to take care of stuff.
mhm.
Um those and then I just kind of took it from there and turned it into a career. And I've just been kind of doing it ever since. I took a little break, a short 6 month break, so I could focus on like writing and doing the Wonder and Alchemist stuff. But then a
Mhm.
job came open to where I could kind of sort of be my own boss. So I just kind of took it. I was like, I'm gonna take it, and I took it.
I feel you. I feel you, man. Nothing better than that, man. Being able to like kind of dictate your workflow and like how you engage with stuff like that. That is huge, man. To have
No,
that
that
autonomy.
you said what now?
I said to have that autonomy.
Oh yeah, man. It's like it's a different type of freedom. I think I've ran a brewery before, and I had a decent amount of freedom. But when you're running, like that facility was pretty big. I think that facility was the fourth largest in Arkansas at the time.
Whew.
Which I mean, it's not saying a lot, but it's saying a lot. It's a lot of moving parts, and
Mm-hmm.
so like I could make my own schedule, but at the same time, we had so much stuff going on to where it's like I had to be there. I had to be there 40 to 50 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes stuff just had to get done because beer is essentially a living organism. So sometimes things just have to get done on a certain timeline, and they have to be done like a very specific way and a very correct way. So I just be there all the time. So by the time like fast forward to now, it's like I know all that, but since I'm making my own schedule and stuff, it's like, oh well, I'll get this done by X, Y, and Z. I'm gonna get this done by X, Y, and Z, and then I just don't stress about the little stuff in between. I just make sure y'all get.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's beer making is interesting, and I think that kind of drew me into alchemy too, because my homie was like, you're already an alchemist because you're a beer maker. Because a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
original alchemists of the ancient world, they were beer makers and they did make alcohol. So it's like this whole spiritual aspect of making a spirit, so to speak. We call it wine.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and the whole scientific process of what you're doing when you're making beer, it really kind of drew me into alchemy a little bit more too, because it was kind of like, oh well, I am working with these different, microorganisms. I
Right.
am making alcohol. I am watching people get drunk, which was a drawback initially for me making beer. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, so it's essentially by default beer making has become a part of my life for sure.
Yeah. So what would you say is like your favorite kind of beer? Like what's your favorite?
My favorite beer, German beers for sure, and particularly chocolate buck.
Chocolate buck.
Chocolate buck for
Mm.
sure. It's a German type beer. Is really like malty and sweet. But you can add certain grain to make it taste like chocolate, or you can just straight up add chocolate, and it's just like drinking. I don't know how to explain it. It's like drinking fudge or something, man. It's
Oh,
just
that's crazy. That
you
that's crazy.
make it taste really good.
That's crazy, man. I gotta come by. I gotta, man. So where are you brewing at, man? What's the spot that now?
So it's this place called Vino's, and it's like one of the first breweries in Arkansas. I
He
think
knows.
that place
Where's
opened
that?
up 35 years ago. You know what Flinders Smith College is?
Yeah.
It's down the street from Flinders Smith College, like
Word.
literally across the bridge.
Okay. Okay. Bet. Next time I'm in Arkansas, I got your number now. I'm gonna text you. I'm gonna text you
Oh, we
when I'm gonna swing through.
we can kick it.
Oh
We can.
yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna hit you up, man. Cause that just sounds crazy, man. Like tasting like chocolate. That sounds like real crazy to me. Like
No,
I've had a couple beers that I was like, oh, I was like, I'm okay. I'm impressed that this tastes this way, but I've never had anything that tastes like chocolate.
oh yeah, so people make chocolate stouts. People make just straight up chocolate beer, but chocolate box in particular, they got like this. It's like this perfect blend of like a rich, creamy beer with chocolate. And it's just like if you love chocolate, dark chocolate, milk chocolate, like you'll love that beer. It's just fire.
Yeah, I don't even like chocolate. Honestly, I didn't even get into beer till I joined the military. Like,
Really, I didn't get into
yeah,
beer until I became a brewer.
yeah, like honestly, because I would not like if somebody tried to hand me a beer, I'm like, nah, I'm not drinking that. Like, I'm not. But then in the military, it was just like it was one day, like it was a lot of like we did a lot of work. Everybody was just sitting there, and then like somebody just broke out he's like, hey, here, everybody, hey, good day's work, good day's work. So we just sitting there drinking beer, shooting the shit, and that's how I got in the beer. Like,
How old were
huh?
How old were you?
I was 22, 23. I think I was
Yeah,
23. No, I was 23 when that day happened. I was 23.
yeah. How long you been in the military now?
I done been in for 9 years, bro.
Are you trying to retire?
I might. I
Yeah,
might do it.
my mom pulled it off. 25 years.
Yeah, because that's how about how long I'm gonna end up being in. Because I'm in the guard, so I have like 9 guard years, and I have four almost 5 active duty years.
Mm-hmm.
I think 5 for me is what, February. Yeah, I think my 5th year active duty wise is February. Like my active duty time and my guard time are like not together.
Right.
So I'd have 15 years from February of 2023. So that I retire in 2038. So
Might as well.
I might do it just to get the check though, because the check is
That's what
good.
she might as well roll on at this point.
Yeah, because I'm already rocking. Because I mean, like, if not, I can at least well, in 10 more years, I can at least go, hey, I'm getting my guard check, and I'm just gonna walk. I'm walk with just my
Yeah.
guard check. But if I could walk with an active duty check, I'm walking with an active duty check.
Hey, might as well get that check from Uncle Sam while you can, fam.
Man, exactly. Run me my money.
Yeah, you put in this much time, you might as well go ahead and get that residual income. Like you,
Exactly. Like, why not? Why not? I'd be, I'd be 40 what? It'd be 5, 31, 46. I'd be 46 when I retire.
you can still have plenty of time to enjoy life.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But you
Plenty. Plenty.
still got plenty of time to do what you want at that point.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, for sure, man. So what other stuff are you into, man? What else you got going on? Like,
So I'm a writer, so I've written 2 books. One of
okay.
them is a book of poetry and a prose and social commentary. It's called Thoughts of
Hmm.
a I hate plugging books, but that's on that's on Amazon. You get it on Amazon. And
And
then
no, say the name of it again.
Thoughts of a Prince. I got a
Thoughts of a
copy.
Prince. Okay,
Um
thoughts. Yeah, man. You might as well show off your copy. You know what I'm saying? What you got? Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Thoughts of a Prince. Let's go. Let's go. Y'all can pick that up on Amazon. Thoughts
and
of a
then
Prince.
the other one, then I wrote a novel too, which is a series. I gotta finish up the series. It's called Willie. It's based off the Willie Lynch letter, and it's a story
Mm.
fiction novel set in Arkansas. Is essentially about mind control. So it's like this
Oh.
whole play on like what makes a slave a slave, but not only that, like what allowed the society of slavery to work, and obviously we know it's like that concept of racism and greed, but it's like
Hmm.
not only did it take the slaves out of their own human nature, out of the basic human nature, it took everyone out of their basic human nature. So it's really a story of like it's a very like you're in the heads of all the characters, and it's really kind of showing you all these internal battles that everyone's going through. Even the master, it's like even you be hating the master, but at the same time you kind of understand like, well, business as usual type of a mentality.
Hmm.
It's a cool story, but I wrote the first one, published it 2020. I'm working on the sequel, and then it'll be a third one, and
Okay.
then trying to get the sequel out. And then I've been working on this short story series. I'm gonna call it Songs of Freedom. I've written 2 of the short stories already. That's kind of hard to plug because there's still just so much in the works for that. But then I have an online story, a free online story that ties
Okay.
in a lot of the stuff. It's on my website, thewanderingalchemist.com. and it's kind of like historical fantasy. It ties in a lot of the history I teach about, like but it puts it in like a very like magical ancient world type way. So it was
Mm-hmm.
like a way for me to show how the people of the ancient world interacted with that world of magic and superstition and religion, and how it really looks when like your religion is your lifestyle type of a thing, which is
Mm-hmm.
something we don't really have now that they absolutely had back then. But it's a cool story. It's fun. I haven't posted it in a while, but I have been writing and working on it. And then I'm going to Oklahoma City soon. September 24th, I'll be in OKC. Giving a lecture about secret societies and
Mm-hmm.
their influence on America. Um, and we'll just go. I'm just gonna go from like some of the most ancient of secret societies and work my way up all the way to like the founding of America, and kind of show like the similarities of them all as I make my way through time. And I kickbox. I'm a kickboxer.
Yeah, I seen that on YouTube. I seen that.
Yeah, I started kickboxing, which is good. And they say I'm pretty good, so I've been training pretty hard. Eventually I'll have some fights, and we'll see what happens when I get them fights. Um,
Yeah.
I used to be a minister, so I went back to church not so long ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been pseudo ministering. Like I don't consider myself a minister anymore, but I
Mm-hmm.
do read scriptures and help out at the church quite a bit, and that's at Philander Smith College. I did not go to school there,
Mm-hmm.
but that church is I think 165 years old. It might be older now. That
Mm-hmm.
church predates slavery, predates the end of slavery anyway. So it's just
Mm.
a landmark. So it's just like really nice to be a part of that history and culture. Um,
Wow.
and I'm about to start swim coaching again. I'll be swim coaching end of next week, Friday, I think. I'll be swim coaching again.
Yeah, I
I,
was about to say, didn't you swim?
I did swim.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. As soon as you said I was about to start swimming, I'm like, I'm pretty sure you swim.
Yeah, no. So I swim. I was actually one of the youngest state team coaches. So there's a obviously you're from Arkansas. You know how Arkansas is. You're not from
Mm-hmm.
here, but I mean, you know how Arkansas is. So I went to college, did not swim in college, but I could have. Came back home and became a coach of one of the state teams, which calling a swim team a state team is basically like a club team, like an AAU team, but for swimming,
Yeah.
right? But I was one of the youngest ones and one of the only black ones too at the time. I was 19 and I haven't coached since. So it's been 10 plus years since I've coached. But
Ooh.
I recently came into contact with some people that's been in that lifestyle, been coaching, and they wanted me back. So
Yeah. Here
another
you are. Here you are.
another.
Man, that's bro, you got a lot going, man.
I'm definitely a busybody, bro.
Yeah, bro. Like, where do you between swim coaching? So you're going what? You're gonna hop out the pool, hop into the brewery, hop out the brewery, hop into the Alchemist seat. You know what I'm saying? Cook up your stories, write your stuff down, record it, post it. Then you're gonna go to sleep, wake back up, do all of it all over again. Like,
Basically. So it's all like managing time, right?
yeah.
Like I started studying like really successful people, and I started realizing they're all extremely busy all the time. They all got all these different projects and stuff they're doing. So I was like, how do they do it? And I kind of got to this point in my life to where I just stopped wasting so much time. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And I just kept myself busy. But like, so I break up my schedule. So essentially, I study when I can, however long I can. I'll just make myself do it. I'm only swim coaching 3 days a week in the mornings. I make my own schedule at work, so I just go into work. It's only 2 days a week that I really have to work 10 plus hours. The rest of the time is really like me checking on stuff, making stuff's okay, making sure I get my hours, make my money, keeping things organized, making orders. And then the kickboxing gym is literally a block over from the brewery, and then the church is right across the bridge from that. So it's like
Oh,
everything's like right there. and then the swim coaching job is like 10 minutes away from the house. So it kind of works through seamlessly to where it's like, and in between, like while I'm doing all this stuff, I'm constantly doing research. I'm constantly working on writing. I'm constantly like staying motivated. So it's just like, yeah, just stay busy. And then I like go to sleep by like 9:30.
Wait, hold on. You do all of that before 9:30? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. All of that, and you showered and in bed by 9:30. That's crazy.
I'll be in bed, be caved.
Man. So you get up
Not,
what? You must start your day at like what, like 5,
yeah,
4?
yeah, yeah. I think the swim coaching hours will be 5:30 to 7:30. And then I used to go to, so I was doing kickboxing practice from 6:15 to 7 Monday, Wednesday, Friday already in the morning. So I was like, I'm just gonna basically trade out kickboxing for swim coaching in the mornings. And then like I do my training, like I said, I'll go on lunch at work, walk to the gym, do training, go back to work, finish up the day, and then go back and finish up, do my 2 days at work, at training. And then like while I'm at work chilling, I'm listening to information, I'm studying, I'm taking notes, I'm doing all that while I'm brewing, and it's just you just make time, and then I make sure I get
Yeah.
my day to myself. Sundays, like today, church barbecue, showed up at like 9:30, helped cook food for the church, kicked it till like 3. I came home and took a nap until it's time to get on here. So you
Wow.
just I don't put like this. As busy as I am, I don't let myself be stressed about anything that ain't worth being stressed
Mm-hmm.
about. And I do not work myself to death. I make sure
Yeah.
if I get tired, I'd be like, you know what? I'm about to go home. I'm about to go get me some rest, and then I'll hit it hard the next day. And I just don't. I learned like the difference between working hard and then like working yourself to death.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
finding that.
There is a steep difference between those two. A steep difference. I learned that myself, like doing this, because like originally what I wanted to do was I wanted to do 3 podcasts a week. I got to doing 2, and I said, you know what? I can't do it. I can't do it. In addition to the other content that I put out, like I literally can't do it.
No,
I physically can't. Working a full-time job, get off, find some time to go to the gym, find some time to be healthy, and then put content out. Like there's no time. And then
no,
like I had to then my main struggle was finding time to actually edit, like
yeah,
actually do videos that actually had more production value. Like that's the roughest part. Cause then like I had to really like take inventory. It was like, okay, like I can't go out today. I can't do this no more. I can't do this. Like I had to go through a whole list of things, and I just start scratching stuff off. And I'm like, Byron, you ain't doing those no more. I'm like, whenever I will do those is when I actually go travel somewhere. If
right,
I'm
right.
not traveling, I'm not doing it.
No, right.
Like,
Like I had to cut a lot of stuff out of my life too. Like I used to like to go out to the bar and chill, and you know, and I still do a lot of stuff by myself, but even like people, like I don't know, it's like after a while of just really getting into a zone and getting focused in, I just cut a lot of stuff out of my life, man. And it's like if you don't fit in the vibe or you don't fit like in the thing, like I love you, but I just don't have like I just don't have time. It's like it's too important to me now. I think it just got to a point where it's like too important, and I don't like spending money going out anymore. That too.
bro, I feel that. Every time I get the bill, I'm like,
Yeah,
why?
I could have bought a whole bottle.
Right. Like I could have bought a whole bottle. I could have I could have ran like some promo. I could have like invested in bought some more stuff.
Yep.
There's so much stuff I could have done. And
Yep.
I'm like, man, like I'm really like out here down bad because I'm spending all my money on stupid stuff. I'm like, let me
No,
just stop.
no, for real, man. It's a lot of stuff. Like I was thinking the other day, it's like, man, distraction, getting distracted and staying distracted is like some of the worst, like one of the worst habits that you can have, and it's so easy to do. But like trying to like also the same thing, like holding your focus, but like holding it to a point to where you're driving yourself crazy. That's not healthy either. So
Yeah.
it's like trying to find that balance of like doing something that you love to do, that you're passionate about, at the same time making sure you're making money, making sure you're taking care of
Hmm.
Y and Z, and like and actually enjoying your life versus it always feeling like it's work, 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 work. And I think it took me a while to get to that point, man. It's like a whole shift in perspective. And then you're in the military too, so I know they be keeping you busy and standing around doing this, but you can't do nothing else but twiddle them.
Oh, listen, listen. If I could, sometimes when I had downtime, like record stuff and do stuff, like I was still impressed that I managed to do my podcast during my entire deployment. Like I managed to put out one episode a week, the entire deployment for a whole 6 months. I didn't miss. Only time I took a break was I had a rough week and I was like, yo, look, y'all, I
Yeah,
can't, I can't, I can't do this Sunday. I can't do it. I can't do it. Like if I try and record, I'm going to literally go insane.
yeah. I know. I feel that. So where'd you get deployed to?
I was out in Qatar. Like I wasn't out in the sticks, but I was in the desert though.
Did you? You probably hated it, didn't you?
Man, it was just hot. Like it was just hot. From it was just hot. Like that's it. Like bro, the low. I think the low was like 98
At night?
at night. It was 98 with humidity. With
Uh,
humidity, because we're close
no.
to the ocean. That was the low. The high during the day, like I think the hottest day was like 130. I was like, bruh, like breathing that in, when you breathe in 130, I'm telling you, that hits different. It's like you stuck your face in the stove and you just kept breathing.
Yeah, that sounds painful.
Oh yeah, it sucked, man. Then there was sand all the time, sand in your eyes, sand in your clothes, sand in your socks, your shoes, your boots. Like there was just sand everywhere. There was never a time where you were like clean. Like everybody just understood. Like you're gonna be sweaty. Like come here, give me a sweaty hug. Like
God, that sounds miserable.
it was like that, man. It was like that.
Did you
That
at least get the game while you were out there?
I did not really play video games while I was out there. I did. That was one thing I for sure knew I did not have time for.
Really?
I just didn't. I just didn't. Like there was a couple times like I went to this thing and I would go play some video games sometimes. Like, but
Hmm.
it wasn't like to like I would like really enjoy playing. I was literally just doing it to do something to take my mind off of something else.
Yeah, that makes.
Like and then come back around to it. Like my schedule was super weird. Like I don't even know how I was functioning. I was working 12s. I would work 12s. I'd get off. I'd come back. I'd hang out with everybody outside and then I'd go to sleep, wake up. Like I was only getting like maybe like 4 or 5 hours of sleep a week. And the only time I caught up on sleep was on Sundays. Like like Saturday night going into Sunday was the only time I
And you
got
probably
sleep.
slept all day, I'm sure.
Oh no, I didn't sleep all day. I just slept till like 8 or 7 and then got up and went got breakfast and started my Sunday routine. Like and that was it. Like people would always try and get me to do other things on Sunday and I just be saying them telling them
Nope.
no. I said this is my one day that I have. Like you Saturday afternoon, I'm cool. I'll fuck with you. Like Fridays, Thursdays, like any day but Sunday. Like because that's when they wanted to schedule all the trips to go off base and go see stuff and all
Well,
that.
yeah.
And I was just like, I'm not going. Like, I only went to one trip off base.
What was it like?
Oh, it was cool. Like the water was great. Like the food was good. Like there was like hella flies though, but it's all good. Like like it was bomb. Like it was a bomb. It was bomb beach. Like I loved it. I loved it because Qatar is right here, and then Dubai is like right over there. Like it's
So you can like,
literally like right across the bay.
yeah,
Yeah, like it was pretty cool. It was pretty freaking cool,
yeah.
to say
That
the
sounds
least.
cool.
Yeah, like I rode a camel. Like I got pictures out there in the sand. I got videos of other stuff. Like I got a couple pictures. Like I just keep to myself just because
Mhm.
like I'm still not sure on like when I should post those. I think I'm gonna wait like a
Yeah,
really long time and then I'll finally post all of them. Like I'm
yeah.
gonna wait.
No, I feel like a lot of people that's gets deployed, they do that. They'll just hold on to those pictures. My mom still has a whole lot of stuff from when she was deployed that she ain't never shared online. That she's
Hmm.
where it's just like
Yeah,
her doing a lot of cool stuff, but also some stuff that probably just shouldn't show.
yeah. That it just be like that sometimes,
Mhm.
like because like there was like I had like do I still have that? No, I don't have that. I don't have that any video anymore. I decided to delete it because the video was like me running and I was like, well, I wasn't running, I was jogging. And it was, you know what I'm saying? And I was like just talking, you know what I'm saying? I was talking through something for myself or whatever, but I was making sense. Like it was good content, honestly. But but the background, you could see kind of like the layout of the base, like as I was running, and I was like, I
Yeah.
can't do that. Okay,
Yeah.
I can't post that. Mm-mm.
No, just then that gets fishy. That gets fishy real quick.
Yeah,
And it's not
yeah.
even that you're doing anything intentional. It's just the fact that
Yeah,
what the information that you're giving out, you know.
yeah, because somebody could take that and make it a problem.
No, no, for sure. For sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. Um, okay, so is there anything else you want to like promote to the people? Anything else you want to tell your fans? Any words of advice or wisdom you want to share?
Um, learn as much as you can, love as much as you can, and be patient with yourself and with others, even though it's not hard to do. I mean, it's not easy to do. Those are
Hmm.
probably those are the things I'm trying to do right now, for sure.
I feel that, man. Yeah, yeah. So look, this is my guy Jay, the Wandering Alchemist. I appreciate you coming through. I appreciate having you on. Till next time, y'all. I'll catch y'all later.